handicappers, they're all in the know. Pick some winners and then we say, let's go. So come on, it's time to watch the show. We're talking hardball, Ken Griffey's grotesquely swollen jaw. We're talking hardball, over under on the hot dogs. Talking hardball, bring your giant bag of peanuts. Talking We're talking hardball, Ken Griffey's grotesquely swollen jaw. We're talking hardball, over under on the hot dogs. Talking hardball, bring your giant bag of peanuts.
Live on a beautiful day where I am in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm assuming it's beautiful everywhere else. I'm Adam the Bull. He's Albert Nguyen, and it is Betting Weekly Hardball, a Wednesday edition, part of the Betting Weekly Studios, under the Bet Rivers umbrella. I just said umbrella. That was my New York coming out in me there. And Albert, of course, a professional gambler, and he's in Dallas. And I'm assuming it's nice in Dallas, right? It's always
it is nice in Dallas. It's only about 98 degrees today, and I got the ER out of you because I'm from the South, right, with Old Yeller. So that's why. But I'm excited to talk baseball with you. For those who are jumping on for the first time, this is Adam and I's first show together. So we love to break down the games for you guys and hopefully win some bets as well.
That's absolutely right. And as I've talked about before with Doug and to your point, because you said to me before, when we first started talking that you're a very selective bettor when it comes to baseball. I think sometimes when it comes to baseball, people get caught up and they almost get this feeling like, I got to bet on every game. And you got to be smart with your betting. Betting in every game is probably not the way to go, right?
Absolutely. And my style is kind of old fashioned, if you will, Adam. Like, I don't have any parlays. I'm not big on the props and things like that. So I am a very flat, straight better. I look at one or two games that I want to target each day and move on from there. Like, if I can go 3-2 every single day across all my sports, that's a winning day for me.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that. You go 3-2, that's a 60% hit. If you're hitting 60%, that's big time in this game, right? Because most people are under 500, so 60% is a spectacular rate of success. Before we move on to the first games, and there's some games going on right now, games just about to start as well. I want to talk to you about the Betting Weekly newsletter. If you like what you hear on our shows, including this one, sign up for the newsletter, get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Albert, let's first get to the games that are going on right now, and there's a bunch of them. You already have 5 games in progress. The Reds leading the Nationals 2-0 in the 8th inning. It's been a good pitching matchup. Nick Lodolo threw 7 as a shutout. He's given up only 3 hits. Michael Soroka started for the Nats. He gave up 1 in 5 2/3, but obviously it's been a pitcher's duel here. Anything that's caught your eye, by the way, here? The Reds are threatening for more in that they just actually scored to make it 2-0 in the top of the 8th. Anything in this game catch your eye at all?
Yeah, when I was looking at this game in the morning, I had actually identified the Nationals as a potential play. Obviously, I didn't pull the trigger there, but this was a pretty much a 50-50 coin flip heading into the latter stages of this game. It was 1-0. The Reds were up. Anytime a team is only up a run, right, you can tie that with one swing of the bat. They are threatening now in the 8th, and no read here. I think the Nationals, in my opinion, Adam, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I think they're going to be a feisty team in the second half. There's a little talent there, and for those teams that are not on their A game or focused for that 3-game set, the Nationals can steal 1 or 2 games.
I agree with you. I was a little surprised they fired everybody now because I think it's early, but I think they're headed in the right direction as an organization. I like a lot of their young players, led by James Wood, obviously, who's just going to be a superstar, I think, over the next couple. I mean, if he's not already, he's going to be a superstar. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. I think they're a team. There's some teams that if you're a contender and you're battling, like I want to play the White Sox, I want to play the Rockies, the Pirates, the Orioles. The Nationals are not in that group.
Yeah.
They are going to be a little feisty. I'm with you on that. It's now 3-0 Reds as they go to the bottom of the 8th. Next game in progress, the Marlins, who have been a bit feisty lately as well. They lead the Padres 3-1. Marlins could be big players in the trade deadline. Sandy Alcantara, 7 shutout. Well, not shutout. He gave up 1 unearned run, but obviously he's been talked about in trade rumors, and so far nothing's happened. We'll see in the next week, but he may be hoping to pitch well here to get out of Miami as we look at that game, right?
I think that's exactly what we're seeing, Adam. I think he is auditioning for a big club right now. You
Yeah.
can make an argument this is probably the best game he's pitched this year. We know about his pedigree and his, experience and his past, awards and things like that, but he's had a terrible year heading into today and giving up only 1 run. I know the Padres offense is, Mr. Jekyll, Dr. Hyde, or whatever the reference there is on a day-to-day basis, but only giving up 1 run against that lineup is very good. So I agree with you. I think Sandy is potentially on his way out.
Pirates leading the Tigers 6-0. Bailey Falter pitching really well for the Pirates. He has a shutout through 6 Ks and 2 hits and no walks against the Tigers. Obviously, the Tigers haven't been quite as good lately, but impressive what the Pirates are doing in this game. Are you worried about the Tigers a little bit?
Man, it's tough because they had been playing such great ball, Adam. I mean, in their last 10, they're only 2-8, and they're about to lose another one. That is really bad. If you're looking for, it's going to be one of those things where if and when they make the playoffs, Adam, we'll see a stat line on the screen that says no team has advanced in the first round after going on like a 9-game losing streak or something like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm a little worried about them. They are just very, very well managed. There's a lot of talent, very versatile and deep, but right now they're just not playing good baseball. And it's not like they're playing against a great team today.
No, certainly not. Their offense, which you thought might be an issue in the beginning of the year, has been so lately. Top of the 6th in Atlanta, the Giants leading the Padres 3-0. Although it looks like they might have just added to that. Rafael Devers, I think, just he homered earlier in this game. Matt Chapman also homered in this game, and Devers just knocked. I think Devers might have just hit another home run. I'm waiting for the screen to update here, but at the moment it's 3-0 Giants in the top of the 6th. Did he hit another 3? Did he hit 3-run homer?
Yep, 6-0 Giants leading.
Wow, he's 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, so he's put it all together today. And for the Giants, the pitcher Justin Verlander, he has 5 walks, but 1 hit, no runs, and 3 Ks. And the Giants, who have been up and down lately, beating up the this bad Braves team, which is weird to say, isn't it?
This could be Verlander's first win, right? He's 0-9 or 0-10 heading into this game, so that would be something. You're right. I think the Braves, to me, by far the most disappointing team of the year so far.
Yeah, 100%. The Braves and the Orioles, the 2 most disappointing teams. The only thing that's been exciting about the Braves is their rookie catcher, Drake Baldwin. I've enjoyed watching him play, but that's been about it. And finally, one other game going on right now, and that is the Mets leading the Angels 5-1 in the top of the 4th. You got a home run for Brandon Nimmo in this one. Pete Alonso hit his 22nd home run. Sean Manaea is on the mound for the Mets, 3 1/3, 4 base runners, a run, and 4 Ks. For the Angels, Brock Burke, who's not pitching well. He pitched he was the opener in the first inning,
Exactly.
and now their bullpen's gotten blown up. So that's the deal there. And the Royals and the Cubs in the rubber game at Wrigley Field. We'll get started here in about 10 minutes. How about last night, Rich Hill at age 45 making that start? He wasn't bad, Albert. He actually pitched okay.
It was the night of the 45-year-olds, right? Rich Hill in baseball and Venus Williams in tennis. So, no, I actually didn't get to catch that game or follow it, but
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear he did well.
Yeah, I was watching it. Yeah, because I'm a Cubs fan, I was watching that game last night, and he gave up 2 runs early, but it was some sloppy defense in that inning that kind of contributed to that. But the Cubs are favored today at minus 162 as we take a look at that game, which is, as we said, just getting underway shortly. Seth Lugo, who I know a lot of Cubs fans like me wouldn't mind seeing Seth Lugo change clubhouses here. He'll face Colin Ray. What do you think of this game today? Any thoughts on it?
Yeah, a couple of things. One thing is we talk about, or we haven't mentioned them, but the Milwaukee Brewers, right, on fire. I think they've won 10 or 11 games in a row. With that said, they are
it
just
ended last night. They lost their winning streak. Their 11-game winning streak ended last night in a 1-0 loss to the Mariners.
Yeah, I want to bring that up because I want to credit the Cubs because even with that huge winning streak that the Brewers had just gone through, they're basically just tied with Chicago. And so that gives credit to how good the Cubs have been all season long. And I think they're primed to make a deep playoff run. And in terms of this game in particular, it's hard for me because I've always viewed Kansas City, and they've been a little disappointing this year as well. But they have a team that tries hard every day, and I think sitting at 49 and 53, they're one of those teams where I mentioned, just like the Nationals, it's not going to be an easy out, no matter when and where you play the Royals.
Big news from the Royals in this game, though. I saw this last night. Bobby Witt tweaked his knee. He took an awkward swing last night. He stayed in the game, but he's not in the lineup today.
Okay.
So if you were thinking about whatever, any kind of props, or if you're thinking about taking the Cubs, it might make you feel better to know that Bobby Witt will not be in the starting lineup, at least. I don't know what his availability is off the bench. We shall see. Let's get to some other games that are coming up a little bit later, including one I know you like that starts in about an hour and a half. That's the Astros and the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are another one of those teams right around 500. They're 50 and 52. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? They have a lot to sell, but they invested a lot in this season. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Meanwhile, the Astros, for the most part, had been playing really well here after a slow start to the season. Obviously, they're in first place. So what is it that you like with the Diamondbacks today? You like them to win?
Yeah, I do like the Diamondbacks today. Depending on what book you can get it around minus 125 and 130. But I think the Diamondbacks is the right side. If you follow the game yesterday, they were up 1-0 heading into the 7th or 8th inning. Houston hits a two-run shot, and Arizona actually had a chance, bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, Adam, 0 outs, and they were able to get 0 runs. And I think we're going to see a little regression there because they did out-hit Houston. That was against Framber as well. So I think Arizona is primed to win the series, get the win. It is 1-1 heading into today. And I like the value here because Brandon Walter for Houston, you mentioned it. The Astros have been playing great ball. They're definitely one of the contenders here in the American League. But Walter is definitely a soft spot for them. 1-4 in his last 5 starts. ERA sitting around 5. Only averaging about 5 1/3 innings. So I think if Arizona can get to him early, we're going to see a tired Houston team with tired arms, and I think the Diamondbacks are going to be able to pull away in the end.
All right, so that's the play of the day. It's the Diamondbacks against the Astros. Another game I got my eye on tonight is the Blue Jays and Yankees. Obviously, the Blue Jays have taken the lead in this division over the last week. They've played great baseball. They've split the first 2 games. The Jays won the first game of the series 4-1 on Monday. Yankees come back, break a 4-4 tie against Jeff Hoffman to win it 5-4 yesterday. The rubber game today, Max Fried, who's not been as good lately, will face Chris Bassett. So a couple of veteran left-handers in the game. The game's on Prime tonight. 7:07 Eastern start. Anything for you in this game?
Nothing for me here, but I would say the All-Star break came at a great time for Max Fried. You mentioned it, Adam. He was pitching well until the last 3 or 4 starts, and his most recent start right before the break, only 3 innings. He allowed 6 hits in those innings, 3 earned runs. He was not doing well. 3 walks, and so if we see a refreshed and sharp Max Fried in the first, couple innings, I would most likely live bet the Yankees or live bet the under. But as far as
Right.
a pregame or pre-flop read, I don't have anything for this game.
All right, we got some comments from the fans here, so let's see what some of the fans have to say. Thanks to all those watching on Twitch, all those watching on Twitter, and watching on YouTube. Michael Augustine says, love the show. Great content. Can't wait for college football content in a month. Yeah, football's right around the corner. Will your Cowboys be any good this year, Albert?
Are we talking about the NFL? Are we talking about NFL?
Well, true. College. Who's your college team?
Well, I'm Hookem. You can see in the back here, that's Vince, the greatest college football player of all time. I'm excited about Texas, and I'm assuming you're a Buckeyes fan.
I grew up I'm 54 and I grew up in New York City, and nobody cared about college football where I grew up. It was a different world then. So, late 70s into the 80s. College football wasn't on TV much. You didn't I guess people paid attention to Notre Dame. But, I've adopted the Buckeyes here. My alma mater is a Division III school, so we can't worry about them. Decent Division III program, but we're not betting on Division III football. I guess you could. There's a line for everything. But I would say the Buckeyes. And my longtime radio partner was part of their national championship team 20 some odd years ago. So I mean, and obviously they're coming off a great season.
We're only a month away, Adam. It's Texas going to the Horseshoe. That could be a potential national title preview. I think Ohio State has to win that game. I don't know. I know this is not a college football podcast.
No, that's fine.
If Texas can go in and be competitive, I don't expect them to win. If they win, that's great. As long as they don't get blown out, I think they'll be able to run the table and still make it. But August 30th, 11 a.m., Texas and Ohio State. That's going to be fun to watch.
I love seeing games like this, between two powerhouses in different conferences. I wish we saw more of this. Hopefully with the extra playoff teams feel like they can be more aggressive playing other teams out of conference and still make the playoffs. We shall see. I'm more of an NFL guy, and I'm obsessed with fantasy football, so I can't wait for that to start.
Nice.
So we'll see. Adam Osimo says, I like the intensity. Corey says, hit the like button. Also says, no Kyle Tucker in the lineup for the Cubs. Oh, interesting. I hadn't seen that. That is something to take note. Now, the Cubs lineup's pretty deep top to bottom, but Kyle, they gave Pete Crow Armstrong the night off 2 days ago. They gave Michael Bush a night off yesterday. And now, no Kyle Tucker in the lineup. I haven't heard about any kind of injury, but it's a good job out of you, Corey. He is not in the lineup. Corey also says, Milwaukee finally starting to get respect from the books. It's basically a pick 'em between them and the Mariners. Yeah, I mentioned that the Mariners beat them 1-0 yesterday. Let's talk about the Brewers and the Mariners. Quinn Priester, Luis Castillo. Obviously, the Brewers have been playing great. Jacob Mizorowski was great again yesterday. He's been a revelation for them. I mean, now you have him with Freddie Garcia. Brandon Woodruff's looked good since coming off the injured list. The Brewers always find a way. They are such a smart, well-run organization. They're legit. I'm buying them as a playoff team. Are you?
I definitely am.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, like you mentioned, it's the infrastructure, right? And
Yep.
even the starter tonight, Quinn Priester, I think he's 5-0 in his last 5 starts. He's been on fire. I think he's won 3 of those 5 as an underdog. So he doesn't mind playing the underdog role. And I think we have 2 of the best pitchers going at it tonight with Priester and Castillo. I think Castillo is also 5-0 in his last 5. This to me is a coin flip, and as a bettor, right? I'm not going to touch games that, in my opinion, have like a 50-50 or 51-49, potential ending. But I would say the value here is on Milwaukee, because Seattle's offense is always going to struggle, especially at home, when you think that all those big names are going to get hits. And they don't. I like Milwaukee here just because they're deeper and they play better defense.
And it seems like, and I agree with you, it seems like Milwaukee finds a guy like Quinn Priester every year, a guy that is kind of an afterthought. He's picked up on on waivers or acquired in a trade for a guy who's been designated for assignment, and they make something out of these guys every year. It's really remarkable what they're able to do. Next game on the docket here, folks, we got the Red Sox and the Phillies. Lucas Giolito and Jesus Luzardo going in this one. What do you make of this game?
Oh man, this one's tough because I think the Phillies are coming off back-to-back wins.
Yeah.
The Phillies are a really good team, but it's hard for me to I don't know how to say this. Like they're like the Dodgers, ultra talented, big names. They're gonna always have a high ceiling, but am I gonna be able to eat the minus 160, minus 17, minus 180 price? Because if you lose one of those, you're gonna have to win 2 to 3 to make up for it, right? So
Mhm.
um, for me here, it's a layoff, but I can't back this Boston team just because they have been playing a lot better, and they've been playing better since the Devers trade, Adam. But
Yeah.
without Devers, there's just no pop in this lineup. I think they've been outplaying their projections since that trade. I think they're going to start regressing back to the mean because I don't think this is a winning team. They're sitting at 54-49. I won't be surprised if they end the season 81-81.
Albert, earlier you said it was a great time for the All-Star break for Max Fried, and you were right. It's the opposite for the Red Sox. They had won 10 in a row going into
Yeah.
the All-Star break,
Yeah.
and now they've dropped 4 of 5. I know they played good teams in the Cubs and Phillies, but they lost 2 out of 3 in Wrigley, and now they've lost the first 2 Philly, having to face Zach Wheeler and then Christopher Sanchez, who I think along with Joe Ryan are like the 2 most underrated pitchers in the league. You don't hear much about either of those guys, but they're both sensational. So, yeah, I'm definitely not betting on Boston. It's a big number to lay on Philadelphia. So,
And Adam, Boston
yeah.
has to play LA after this. So they
Oh,
get the
yeah.
Cubs, the Phillies, and the Dodgers back to
Yeah.
back to back. So not
That
a
is
great,
tough.
welcome back to the second half of the season for
No,
Boston.
great point. Great point. Let's get to the Orioles and Guardians. We were talking a little bit about this before the show. The Guardians, a couple of weeks ago, I said they were done. They weren't making the playoffs. I still don't think they're making the playoffs. However, they've played much better baseball. They've won 10 out of 12. Their offense, which had been dormant for the entire season, has been really good of late, led by Jose Ramirez. When he's hot, they have a chance because he's by far their best player, along with Steven Kwan. Manzardo's been pretty good lately, and Angel Martinez has been pretty good lately. Slade Ciccone, who they acquired in the Josh Naylor trade, has been excellent of late for the Guardians. At minus 129, he faces Zach Eflin. Would you consider the Guardians here or no?
I would, because I'm not afraid of Zach Eflin. I know he
Right.
throws a very straight fastball, and you mentioned it. This Guardians offense has really picked up, and I'll give you guys some numbers. I think the over in their matches have hit 5 or 6 straight games, and
Yeah.
I think 8 out of the last 9 games overall. So this offense, and they've hit that number by themselves. We're talking about the full game totals, and they're
Yeah.
hitting that by themselves. In the last 3 games, scoring 6, 10, and 8 runs respectively. So I think it's a great time to continue to back Cleveland, especially against a bad pitcher like that. And the counter argument is there's no way that you can find value in Baltimore. We've been waiting for Baltimore to pick it up and turn the corner the entire season. And I think it's just one of those seasons where it's lost. It's a gap year for them. There's still a lot of talent on this team, but
Mhm.
sometimes the baseball doesn't roll your way. And I think it's there's no way I'm going to bet Baltimore anymore. And for those who have followed me all season long, I started the season backing the Baltimore team a lot. I was
Mhm.
paying, a
Yeah.
buck 20, a buck 30 because, they had a really slow start, but then I was like, man, they have to turn a corner. They're just too talented. They're too good. And obviously now injuries have slowed them down. And I'm just going to lay off the Baltimore Orioles from now until I see them kind of pick it up again.
Yeah, it's funny. They had the terrible start, as you said, and then they got in late May, they played better for a little while. They were 16-34 on May 24th. And
Oof.
then they played much better. And by they had won, I don't know the exact amount, but they had gotten to where they were 33-42. So they were back to 9 games over 500. So they had played significantly over 500 for about a month from late May to late June. And then it's just gone down the tubes again. And they lost their last two before the break. And they've gone, so they've lost 6 of 7. So now they're back to 18 games under 500. It's just not going to happen. And, they're playing, the Guardians are playing well right now. After that, they got the Rockies, okay. But then Blue Jays, Cubs, Phillies after that. So they're about to be more than 20 games under 500, I think. We'll see. Speaking of the Cubs, they're behind the Royals early. 2-run homer for Vinny Pasquantino, who had a rare day off yesterday after an error. Has the Royals up 2-0 on Colin Ray and the Cubs. Reds now lead the Nats 5-0 in the middle of the ninth. Marlins over the Padres 3-2 top 8. Padres have 2 on, 2 out. Ooh. Pirates lead the Tigers 6-1 bottom 7. Giants up 6-0 in the top of the 7th against the Braves. And Rafael Devers has 2 home runs in that one. 6-1 Mets over the Angels in the top of the 5th. So a lot of action and a lot of decent amount of offense in a bunch of these games so far. Few other games we have today. The Rockies and the Cardinals in Colorado. With a win today, Albert, the Rockies would get back to within 50 games of 500.
Hey, that's an accomplishment to where they were a few weeks ago. That is not too bad. I think they're 4-6 in their last 10. Obviously, they just beat the Cardinals outright yesterday, being plus 150 dogs. No read for me here from a betting perspective, but the Rockies have become a lot more, I guess, respectable in the last few weeks.
Yeah. Well, now the goal is to win 42 and not have the worst record of all time. Earlier today, Betting Weekly game bet match with Nigel Seeley and Sean Calvert discussing ATP UMAG and Washington, D.C. Check that out on all the action on the Betting Weekly studios, including Betting Weekly Fast Break, which is coming your way at 3 o'clock Eastern. Other games today, you have the Twins and the Dodgers at 4:10. Twins won last night. Tyler Glasnow coming off the injured list. I'm curious to see him. Obviously, they've had a million injuries, the Dodgers. I'll be curious to see how he looks tonight, Albert.
Dodgers only 3-7 in their last 10, struggling not only pitching wise, right? They needed Ohtani and especially Yamamoto yesterday to show up, and he didn't. But they're also struggling from the bats. People who are not following, like Mookie Betts, is struggling really bad, and that's being the number 1 or number 2 hitter in that lineup. It's really slowing down that offense. No read for me is very similar to the Phillies. Am I going to pay a buck? What is this, minus 200 or so for the Dodgers?
Yeah.
That's too rich for my blood for a team that's struggling.
I don't blame you. Their bullpen's a mess, right? I don't even know who their closer is. Will it be, Scott went on the injured list? Is it going to be Kirby Yates? Is it going to be Alex Vesia? I'm not sure what they're going to do, but it's either way, it's not a good situation for all the money they spent. The White Sox and the Rays, 7:35 Eastern. Jonathan Cannon and Taj Bradley, who's been talked about as a potential trade chip. Neither team has much experience. Both rosters have 5 total at bats against the opposing pitcher in their careers. So not much experience here. 2 kind of mid-tier pitchers. This can't be too much of a fun game to watch. Will you be locked in?
I would definitely not watch this. But Jonathan Cannon, you mentioned it, 4-1 in his last 5 starts. His previous game, he was a plus 140 dog, beat the Pirates 10-1, 7 innings pitched there. So he is definitely, trending in the right direction. And against this Tampa Bay lineup, where there's only 1 or 2 hitters that you're really scared about, I think he can have another solid outing. And, to top that off, if he's going to have back-to-back gems, if you will, I think he's going to raise that trade value. And the White Sox are definitely going to be sellers, and Jonathan Cannon could be on his way out.
Finally, speaking of sellers, the A's at the Rangers. Your Texas Rangers are 2 games over 500. Not sure if they'll be buyers or sellers. Patrick Corbin against J.P. Sears in this one.
Man, Adams, this is tough because the Rangers have been playing really well recently. They took 2 of 3 against Houston. They took 2 of 3 against the Tigers. They're at worst, they're going to take 2 of 3 against the Athletics today, and it's tough for me to say if they're buyers or sellers, but all the money that they spent into this team from a personnel standpoint, from an
Hmm.
infrastructure standpoint, I can't see them being sellers. So I actually think they're gonna go for it. And
I
having
agree.
2 arms like DeGrom and Uvalde in a short series, in a short playoff series, we talked about this right before the show. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to face that, right? And
Right.
we know that the batters have shown clutch hitting in the playoffs in the past. And if they can just get in, I think that would be really big for the franchise because it was a really slow start in the beginning. They fired their hitting coach, got a new one. Their offense is picking up a little bit. I like them in this game as well. I think that the Athletics are a team that's going to kind of mail it in from here on out.
All right, that's it. We went through every game on the docket today. And again, Albert, your bet of the day is the Arizona Diamondbacks to win, correct?
Correct. Let's go Arizona. Let's bounce back from yesterday. They lost 2-1. They should have won that game.
All right, folks, we appreciate you joining us today. Thanks for everybody who sent a message in the chat. Make sure you come back for Betting Weekly Fast Break, 30 minutes from right now at 3 o'clock. We'll have that for you, all the WNBA picks coming up there. Albert, are you on Betting Weekly Fast Break today or no?
Not today. I'll be
Okay.
on there tomorrow with Sarah.
Do you have a WNBA pick today or no? I know you
Oh,
probably
I
got to
do
prepare for it.
actually.
Oh,
There's
you do?
only so there's only one game on the docket tonight.
Yeah.
It's between Atlanta and Phoenix. Everybody knows that Phoenix just made a couple moves and they're gunning for the playoffs, as you will. But I think the value today is on the Atlanta Dream. I think the size inside the interior is going to give Phoenix problems, and this is kind of a revenge game for those who don't know. Brittany Griner is returning back to Phoenix to play against her former team, so look into maybe a double prop, something like that.
All right, so there you go. There's a little bonus pick for you with WNBA. More conversation on Betting Weekly Fast Break. It's Doug and Wes Reynolds on the show today. Again, coming up at 3 Eastern in about 30 minutes. Thanks to Alex and Z for producing. We'll talk to you next time on Betting Weekly Hardball. See you, everybody.